Well, for years there has been a dream that seems so simple on the surface, but it's so complicated underneath. That's the dream of skin color making no difference in the way we live together. Will we ever see different races living in peace everywhere, or are we really doomed to what seems to be perpetual conflict? That's the question now, as Channel 2's Reggie Harris joins us to conclude his series, New York in Black and White. Reggie.
Carol, the question I'll ask is phrased just a bit differently. Before I pose it, let me offer a quote which was offered to me as I worked on this project. It comes from a Boston clergyman who, on the night Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, said of King, "He showed people their hate, and they did not like what they saw."
New Yorkers always say it's likely the people of our city have come from every other place on the planet. And it's often said New York's energy is created mainly by the city's diverse population.
But we all came, however long ago, from a basically segregated world. Browns, yellows, reds, blacks, and whites come from different continents, cultures, and climates. If you put aside all the various political, economic, and religious reasons that we have come here, it's really technology, the ability to sail and fly, that has brought us together in New York City. Maybe it's no real surprise that we have racial and ethnic problems. New York in black and white is not the only one, but what's happening in the streets now says it is the most explosive. This series has tried to expand the dialogue by confronting issues we don't often talk about. The missing African-American presence in science and history, which is not taught in our schools. The black community's serious problem with violent crime. The news media's portrayals of people of color. Throughout our research, we consistently asked one bottom-line question. Are we going to make it as a multiracial society? Not can we or should we, but are we going to make it? The various answers may offer some insight.
What we've been saying is that a restructuring of how we educate our kids, a restructuring of what we believe, and a restructuring of how we make our living, how our economy works. There has to be a change in all these areas.
But in your viewpoint, are we going to make it?
Well, it's grim. The outlook is really quite grim.
How many people are going to have to die and how many people are going to have to suffer before we get there is the question that I have. I say, yes, eventually we will recognize and embrace the fact that we are a multiracial, multicultural society. I hope it doesn't take 50 years. I hope it can start happening in the next 10. But right now we're going in a negative direction.
Survival is dependent upon working together.
But are we going to make it?
I've got to say yes. My sense is that yes, we will. Not without a struggle, but I think we will.
I don't like to say this on camera, but I'm very pessimistic. I'm very pessimistic about what's going to happen to inner city young people who don't graduate from high school, because economically, employment-wise, I don't see a meaningful, positive role in this society for those people.
I'm an optimist. I have to believe that the human family coming out of Africa has evolved to this particular point, and we will make it. But I don't think we can make it with the current leadership of white America or the white world. We have to have a leadership that manifests this melanin, that's black and brown, because that leadership will emphasize the humanity of the human family.
I think we will, but I think it's going to be a long, tough struggle. I think the youth, the generation from which both of us are removed, are going to be unaffected by whatever kind of positive communication happens between black and white groups of goodwill on both sides.
I feel in myself somehow, I just feel it, that we would overcome this. I don't know, it's just there.
I hate to be negative, but I don't think we're going to make it, because as long as there's different races and as long as there's different ethnics that do different things, there's always going to be misunderstandings between races. And people are not going to understand each other, and that's going to cause hate. You got to try no matter what the odds are. And like, we are a living example of unity right here. We got every ethnic culture you can think of. We got to try. I mean, there's got to be more programs like the Council for Unity. There's got to be, you know, There's got to be programs where they teach different people how to live together.
We have to make it. It's not a question of are we. We have to, because what's going to become of our country? What's going to become of the world if we don't?
Those students are part of the Dewey High School Council of Unity in Bensonhurst. The council has been working for 15 years and is about to be expanded to 30 additional high schools. As for the question, are we going to make it as a multiracial society? Well, the answer lies with each of us. Carol?
I love those kids' idealism. Hope it spreads around, you know.
It wouldn't hurt for all of us to have some. I wanted to thank, yes, the people who worked on the project, producer Marquita Curtis, our editor Charles Williams, and research, some of it done by Michael Hurd. We thank them all.
Very provocative series. Thanks, Rich.